Now, India is urbanizing faster than ever. By 2047, our cities will shape how we live, how we work, and grow as a nation. The question is simple. Are we just building bigger cities or cities with purpose? Purpose means access, sustainability, dignity, and opportunity. Cities that work for everyone and not just a few. To guide the discussion, once again, please join me in welcoming Dilshad Irani. And to explore how urban India can rise to this occasion, we are joined by someone deeply engaged in shaping India's public and policy discourse. Please put your hands together for Bansuri Swaraj, MP, New Delhi Lok Sabha constituency.
Hello and welcome to the Power of Purpose stage. Bansuri, it's an absolute pleasure, let me say right at the start, to speak with you. I've heard you speak before so eloquently, and which is why I want to start with a slightly personal question, and it's a really tough one for a lot of people to answer. How do you define purpose for yourself, and what is the purpose that drives you today?
First of all, Dilshadji, thank you so much for having me on this particular platform, and thanking you for giving me this opportunity. What an interesting question. So, you know, long ago I actually read somewhere that the shortcut to happiness in life is to have a purposeful life. And I think that sort of just oriented my entire perspective. Purpose is the core to how you want to live your life. One needs to live an intentional life. आपने दिल्ली वालों से कभी पूछा होगा कि हाल कैसा है, तो दिल से जिंदगी के बारे में दिल से हाँ कट रही है. So for me, purpose is beyond that. I never want to lead a life जहाँ पे जिंदगी बस कट रही है. Purpose for me is to lead my life with intention, with progress at the core. And I'm not talking about progress on a personal level. I'm talking about making a difference beyond myself. And I think it also has to do with probably the profession that I've chosen. I'm a lawyer, and I'm still a practicing lawyer. And what happened in the field of law was you were able to make a difference to an individual's life. And when I joined politics, it just worked like an amplifier. Now I can actually amplify that impact. So purpose for me is living an intentional life for somebody other than yourself, for the larger good, and ensuring that you make a difference. Not with a purpose of legacy though, because posterity is the greatest myth in the world.
Lovely. And I want to zoom in now on what we said the specific topic of this discussion is. And previously we had speakers talking about the purpose of economy is health and happiness, and that's all that we seek now. And a large part of public discourse in the past few years has been around our cities, for instance. We've spoken about urban decay. We've talked about are our cities going to be livable in a few years' time. Bansuri, what is your vision for Indian cities? Where do you see Bharat in 2047? What will our cities look like?
So I have a very optimistic view of our cities, and it's not rooted in wishful thinking. It's actually rooted in the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. When he talks about Vikasit Bharat, he is also talking about Vikasit urban cities of India. For example, we're talking about Vikasit Delhi. In 2047, I think that our cities will be greener. They will be Atmanirbhar. So self-reliance will be at the core of it. And I don't mean self-reliance only economically, but I mean in terms of energy efficiency. India is already working towards energy autonomy. I think it will be a city which will also have digital sovereignty. We would have democratized the access to technology. We would be leveraging technology to make sure that we are talking, our rhetoric moves forward from just GDP to actually ensuring day-to-day happiness, ease of living, ease of doing business.
But you know, when we talk about vision, there is often, let's also talk about the gaps then, because there's often this gap between vision and execution. As we speak today, what is happening to fill those gaps? What do you think are the critical gaps to begin with?
So I think there are major gaps, obviously, and that is a genuine problem. But I'm very proud that the Modi administration is recognizing those gaps and is taking care of that. Let's begin with Budget 2026, the union budget. It has chosen people over populism. It has actually chosen actual action over mere rhetoric. This budget is something which is laying the foundation and making the foundation strong for a Viksit Bharat. Let's talk about urban cities. If you actually look, there is so much of, let's begin with capital expenditure, right? This is the highest ever capex given by a union government in the country. The capex has actually gone up by 23%, which ensures that it is going to be an economic multiplier. The fact that there is so much of economic impetus given to, for example, AI, or to ensuring that India becomes a hub for data centers by giving them a tax holiday to companies who are ensuring that there is cloud storage abroad, giving them a tax holiday till 2047, or by ensuring CERs, which is specifically made for urban cities and giving a 5,000 crore rupee economic impetus to ensuring that we are building more than 100 smart cities. Keeping green energy, keeping renewable energy at the core, whether it is ensuring that you subsidize and give tax exemption on something as small as sodium antimonate, which is the raw material for producing solar glass, ensuring that you're giving tax exemptions on basic custom duty for ensuring that lithium batteries become cheaper. You're talking not only about energy generation, you're also talking about energy storage. These are small little things that you're doing for ensuring that you're making a brighter future, a greener future. You're giving impetus to Indian manufacturing. You're also giving impetus to Indian infrastructure, 7 railway corridors, multiple waterways. All of these small individual measures come together to make a very holistic and optimistic future for a Viksit Bharat, and especially for our urban cities.
Bansuri, I want to ask you, there's a lot of impatience, of course, in many cities, especially year after year when we face floods or heat waves. What would you say to this kind? I mean, the impatience, of course, is absolutely justifiable as well. But what's your message to citizens today who are saying, you know, we're paying our taxes, right? We want better living conditions, better cities, world-class cities.
You know, I understand the impatience.
We're all stuck in the same
No,
track.
I really understand the impatience, but I will say this as a जनप्रतिनिधि. मैं आपके मंच से देवतुल्य मतदाता को कहूंगी कि आप अधीर मत होइए. हर एक संकट का हल होगा, वो आज नहीं तो कल होगा. अगर मैं दिल्ली की बात करूं, we are taking very conscientious measures for ensuring that Delhi becomes greener, safer, and everything that you think is a problem will be addressed. I'll give you small examples, right? हम लोग दिल्ली में जब भी आते हैं वो कूड़े के पहाड़ देखते हैं. Until a year ago, you know that there was another ruling dispensation which was synonymous with apathy. It was there, it was like a visual eyesore and nobody did anything about it. The fact that the Rekha Gupta government, the BJP government has ensured that we're actually doing biomining of legacy waste. Out of the 3 large landfills that there are, ye kude ke pahad mein se, we have already reclaimed more than 45 acres of land, and 7 acres out of those 45 acres have been reclaimed and given green cover. आपको बासेरा याद है? बासेरा अभी आप जाओ, एक वक्त वो वहां पर भी इट वाज नथिंग बट अ डंप साइट, पर अब आप जाके देखिए वहां पे 300 से ज्यादा आपको बैम्बू की वैरायटीज लगी हुई मिलेंगी. वी हैव रिक्लेम्ड दैट ग्रीन स्पेस फॉर आवर पीपल. अगर हम पोल्यूशन की बात करें, 3,500 plus electric buses, Devi buses, are now plying on Delhi roads. And there is an ambitious project by the Delhi government to ensure that there's going to be 100% electrification of our entire bus fleet. The fact that 4th and the 5th phase of Delhi Metro has already been started, the construction, 80% of the construction is complete. The peripheral expressway, the UERs, these are ensuring that vehicular traffic, which used to be a great contributor to pollution in Delhi, is going to bypass Delhi. Something as small like एक पेड़ माँ के नाम, ये एक ऐसी मुहिम थी जो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने शुरू करी थी और आज ये जन आंदोलन बन गया है. अगर मैं आपको दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट के बारे में बताऊं तो more than 70 lakh trees have been planted in the last 1 year. These are small steps, but when together as a holistically, they give you a larger picture, which is going to ensure that our cities are where you're going to breathe better, you're going to live better.
Absolutely. I started our conversation with a personal question. Let me end with one too. And skipping, of course, the city that you spend the most time in, Bansuri. What are your top cities in India? Where do you particularly perhaps like visiting?
I am a hardcore Delhi wala. I am born and brought up. Delhi has my dil. My heart belongs to this city. यही मेरी जन्म भूमि है, यही मेरी कर्म भूमि है और जाऊंगी भी मैं यहाँ पर ही केवल अपने दिल्ली के देवतुल्य मतदाता के लिए विकसित भारत के यज्ञ में कर्म की समिधा डालकर.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Bansuri.